So you're not just going after Trevor Bauer, you were going after the Dodgers as well, the organization.
Yeah.
Maybe trying to shake them down for some money. Maybe a payout there.
Right. Hey, no one can absolutely consent to this logically or legally. First off, no. Mostly because that didn't happen. Trevor Bauer was, I guess, a former Dodgers pitcher. Now,
one of the best.
He was?
He was one of the best. He signed a giant free agent deal. He had won the Cy Young Award.
Okay. Wow.
And was a phenomenal best pitcher out there on the market at the time.
I didn't know anything about him other than the sexual assault allegations.
Right.
Now, let me clarify this before we go to the clip. And it's a little bit longer because I want to provide some context here, because this is one of the worst problems that we're facing right now in society, because this kind of smear campaign, character assassination is the reason that young men are not seeking out young women, will not talk to young women, and it's the reason that young women say there are no men worth talking to or marrying out there. There is a breakdown, not just of marriage, but of relationships in younger generations, and it's based on fear. And that stems from a lot of the false Me Too. It didn't get worse because rape went up. Rape has gone down, just to be clear. Sexual assault has gone down. False accusations have gone up, and so men are saying it's not worth the risk. And then women are saying, where am I going to find a man with, a 7-figure income who's 6'2" and is willing to, give me everything that I want? Well, he doesn't want to be falsely accused of rape. So this man, Trevor Bauer. I was going to the only sports name I know. Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
I know Kurt Schilling. I know.
That's a little old.
I know Ray Rice.
Also old.
Sanders Barry.
Yeah, well.
People been retired for people.
All right.
Kurt Schilling.
Trevor Bauer has finally been exonerated. Now, to be clear, the accusations, they came from a woman named Lindsey Hill.
Yeah.
She accused Bauer of choking and punching her. Now, the consequences were Major League Baseball. They suspended Bauer for 194 games. Wow. They docked his pay for the first 50 games of 2023. Then he was cut by the Dodgers, and now he plays in the Japanese league. So there is a silver lining because he's probably much larger than them.
He's making more money, too.
You know what? I don't know. But I'm sure that this guy, obviously, if he's one of the best. In other words, this was not based on performative aspects of his job, being a good pitcher.
Not at all.
It was based on a smear campaign and guilty until proven innocent. Well, he's proven innocent now, but does he get that back? And here's the thing that's really important, too. I want to run this clip. You need to understand the difference between what takes place in court versus what takes place in the court of public opinion, and the difference between rape and sexual assault and defamation. So he didn't quite get financial damages for defamation, but it was ruled that no sexual assault took place. That's important to note.
Right. So I want to add one quick thing here, too, with the MLB. The DA, I believe, declined to bring any charges, saying that there was no real case to be able to bring. I don't know if they had all of this evidence, and this was a civil suit that we were talking about here. But he was reinstated by Major League Baseball, and no one would sign him because of this last year. This guy has been playing in Japan because reinstated, fully cleared. Nobody in baseball would touch him because of the allegations,
right? And
how they were made, and how this Me Too mania got away from everybody.
Oh, by the way, remind me after this. I wanted to hit the Trump update on the overvaluation of assets. We'll do it after.
Yep.
Okay, so Lindsey Bauer accused him of choking and punching her, which you would think, you'd be able to prove.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's a big guy.
Yeah, professional athlete.
Yeah.
Well, she had pictures.
Yeah.
She doctored all this stuff.
Yeah.
You'll see.
She had doctored pictures.
Yep.
So last night, Bauer released this video of him detailing the case because now, and this is something else, what often happens is in order to protect the victim, you're often bound by like a gag order while the case is ongoing and you're in court. Yeah. And so you cannot speak out and defend yourself, and you are attacked instead in the court of public opinion, regardless of what's going on in court. So for example, what you heard about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard wasn't true until finally they had a trial that was broadcast. We all thought we knew, right? We were all wrong. This happened.
Yep.
This happened many times. So let's go through this video here that Bauer released. I believe it was last night, detailing specifically how the case has gone down now.
Next victim, star pitcher for the Dodgers.
These are texts from the woman.
Text Lindsey Hill sent to a friend before she ever even met me. What should I steal? She asked another, in reference to visiting my house for the first time. The answer? Take his money. So how might that work? I'm going to his house Wednesday, she said. I already have my hooks in. You know how I roll. Then, after the first time we met, net worth is 51 mil, she said. Bitch, you better secure the bag, was the response. But how is she going to do that? Need daddy to choke me out, she said. being an absolute whore to try to get in on his $51 million, read another text.
Jeez.
Then, after the second time we
Pause.
met,
People say, with guys like, hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. No, in this case, you hate the player.
Yeah.
This case, you hate the player.
Yep.
How do I steal his money? I will fake abuse and plan it. No one will fact check me on that. And by the way, even if I lose in court, the damage will already be done, and I have a book deal.
Yep.
The man doesn't get his name back. Mm-hmm. All right, let's continue.
Padres pitcher Jacob Nix told her, "You got to get this bag. I'll give you $50,000, Lindsey replied. Her AA sponsor asked her at one point, "Do you feel a tiny bit guilty?" "Not really," she replied. Since then, her legal team has approached me multiple times about coming to a financial settlement. But as I have done since day one, I refuse to pay her even a single cent. In August of 2021, Lindsey Hill's claims were heard in court. And during those legal proceedings, critical information was deliberately and unlawfully concealed from me and my legal team. Information like this video, which was taken by Lindsey Hill herself the morning after she claimed she was brutally attacked, emotionally traumatized, and desperate to get away from me.
It's a face of evil.
And now we have the metadata, so there can be no dispute. It was taken mere minutes before she left my house on the morning of May 16th, 2021, without my knowledge or consent, of course.
Now, pause that really quickly, because I want to go to, by the way, her lawyer. Here's the thing that you need to know. This is a shakedown, obviously, right?
Yeah.
This came out publicly, and before anything transpired in court, her legal team said, hey, you could offer some money because this might be uncomfortable. And her lawyer, Brian Friedman, categorized this a very different way than it actually went down. But her lawyer, in August of 2021, Brian Friedman, released photos of Hill's black eye. Let's bring that up. That's overlay C1. So that was released, right, from my understanding, the day that you just saw that video. Or it was alleged that it was from the day that you just saw that video. Her lawyer, Brian Friedman, was involved with releasing those. That went to Daily Mail.
Wow.
And then they went to this man and said, if you give us some money, this can all go away. According to Friedman, her lawyer, it said, look at this picture. No one, absolutely no one, can consent to this, logically or legally. On April 2022, Friedman asked TMZ to publish photos showing Hill's injuries.
Bring up that previous overlay really quickly of Friedman here. Trevor Bauer's team continues to try to abuse an assault victim. They need to stop. Now, so you're not just going after Trevor Bauer. You were going after the Dodgers as well, the organization.
Yeah.
Maybe trying to shake them down for some money. Maybe a payout there.
Right. Hey, no one can absolutely consent to this logically or legally. First off, no. Mostly because that didn't happen, according to the evidence.
Fiction.
Yeah. And by the way, I've met some people who are into some weird stuff where you'd be like, I don't even know if you can consent to that legally. It's like, look, they grew up in that area of Germany where that's their thing.
It's always Germany.
So here's the question. Does the lawyer know that it's true or not? Right. The legal team approaching Trevor Bauer, right? Trevor Bauer? Trevor Bauer. I keep wanting to think.
I know you're not a baseball guy.
I want to say Jack Bauer. I'm thinking of 24.
Yeah.
Look at this picture, said the lawyer, Daily Mail. No one, absolutely no one can consent to this legally or logically. Oh, but now we just saw that video from the day in question. And that's important because you'll see the changing of tact. You'll see that changing of tact afterwards once what was declared in court came to be final. Let's continue playing this video. My heart breaks for the guy.
You can see her lying in bed next to me while I'm sleeping, smirking at the camera without a care in the world, or any marks on her face. I think it paints a pretty clear picture of what actually happened the evening of May 15th and why the video was originally concealed from us.
Boring sex regular.
Yeah. After hearing the evidence available to her, Judge Diana Gold-Saltman found that Lindsey Hill had misled the court. She found her claims to be materially misleading. She denied her request for a domestic violence restraining order, and she found that no sexual assault or non-consensual conduct took place. Now, some of you might not know about restraining order hearings. I know I didn't, but I've since learned that it's extremely rare for a request for a restraining order to be denied because the standard of proof that you need to obtain one is extremely low.
Can confirm.
So you can make of that what you will. The fact is, I was never arrested. I was never charged with a crime, and I won the only legal proceeding that took place without my side of the story even being heard. And most importantly, as I've said from day one, I never sexually assaulted Lindsey Hill, or anyone else for that matter. So I sued her, which prompted her to countersue me. Quite frankly, regardless of the outcome in court, I've paid significantly more in legal fees than Lindsey Hill could ever pay me in her entire life. And I knew that would be the case going in. But
And by the way,
lawsuit
pause.
was never about the money.
I'm sure, I don't know how much they brought it back. That was, of course, framed as bullying, right? That was when he sued her for defamation. And to be clear, he was found completely innocent of any type of sexual assault, and the restraining order shot down, which, like you said, the burden of proof, the threshold to just enforce a restraining order, because it's not that much of a hassle to a judge, is really, really low. That means there was absolutely nothing there. But if you go back and you read the articles, for example, at TMZ, probably Page 6, maybe Perez Hilton, maybe Daily Mail, whoever this person, the attorneys reached out to and issued their statements, they framed it as though Bauer was a bully. It was abusive. It was coercive control, bullying, and suing her for defamation to intimidate the victim. When in reality, this was a man who was having his life ruined. It's important when you look back and go, okay, what were we told?
Yeah.
It is the exact opposite of the truth because they know how you're going to react. And this man had to live through hell. Think about that. He sued her for defamation, which is very, very difficult to do, by the way, as a public figure.
Yep.
That's a totally separate issue, and I don't believe that he got any significant finances from it. But he was exonerated from any type of sexual assault. How many people know that? All right, let's continue.
For me, it was the only way for me to obtain critical information to clear my name. The discovery process in that lawsuit recently concluded, at which point Lindsey Hill's legal team again came to us with another proposal to resolve the case. This time, however, they weren't seeking any money from me. Having received much of the information that had been hidden from us, a small portion of which I've referenced here, I was willing to agree to the terms proposed. Both parties would drop their respective lawsuits, and neither of us would pay either side any money. I also retained my right to speak publicly about the case, something I have not been at liberty to do since June of 2021.
Pause that. Now imagine that, right? This is what happens with a lot of these people, especially if you're talking about a criminal accusation, like sexual assault and abuse. Gag order, can't talk about it. Now, obviously, this attorney had no problem discussing it and posting pictures publicly. So what was going on in court, by the way, that I'm willing to bet that those pictures were never admissible in court at all to any degree. Like, well, of course, those are doctored. It's very clear once they saw the video. But you only saw the pictures. The people in court, people involved in the case, who knew that it was false, were under a gag order where they could not discuss it. This guy went from 2021 until last night, where he had to let his name be run through the mud. This is how the system works. They are shakedown artists in Hollywood. They will sit down and go, we can shake this person down for money. This was plotted from the beginning with a selfish woman who was trying to take advantage of this man. You saw it in those texts. Then she went and said, who can I find who's going to help me do this and leak this out there to the press? Because I know I won't win this in court. Boom. There you go. Oh, you heard, you rang, said, I guess her attorney, Brian Friedman. Let's keep watching.
Today, both lawsuits have been settled. Now, over the last 2 years, I've been forced to defend my integrity and my reputation in a very public setting. But hopefully this is the last time I have to do so, as I'd prefer to just remain focused on doing my job, winning baseball games and entertaining fans around the world. So today, I'm happy to be moving on with my life.
All right.
I'm glad he's got a good attitude about it. Lindsey Hill needs to go to jail.
Yes.
She targeted somebody. She lied about something that happened.
Yep.
She obviously faked injuries either by doctoring photos or by having somebody beat the crap out of her or by makeup or something like that, right? Having
she pulled a liar in the bathroom.
Exactly. Somebody beat the crap out of her so that she could get money and then sold it to these attorneys who did no due diligence at all, who then leaked this information to put public pressure to seek a settlement. That was it.
Right.
That's the game plan. And he wins and still lost.
Yeah.
You don't get to be the best at anything
and
without spending your life doing it. You took that away from him. He was at the top of his game, just signed a 3-year deal. I think it was $105 million, $120 million. I can't remember. Lots and lots and lots of money. That all vanishes. All of the sponsors vanish. All of the extra money. All of his friends and family vanish potentially because now he's a sexual abuser. He has to go to Japan a year after already being cleared because the DA said there's nothing here for me to do. I can't bring charges on this case because the Major League Baseball guys are too chicken to hire him.
Yeah.
Because the Me Too movement will be picketing right outside because this story never gets told.
And that's why
he's an abuser.
And they give you option number 1 or number 2. They go, hey, this can all go public. We have pictures of black guys, and this may get to Daily Mail. I don't know, might get to Page 6, might get to... It'll get out there as a point. Or here's a bunch of money, which we now know was her goal in the first place. And you can say, but none of that's true. Yeah, but by the time you go through court and the trial, I'm willing to bet that maybe some calls are made to the Major League Baseball folks, and you probably lose your job and you'll be on some Japanese game show with a hose in your face. Mm-hmm. And then they show up and you're like, oh no, Trevor Bauer, how can this be? They have no idea.
He's a giant.
But here's how her attorney, right, the liar, Lindsey Hill, her attorney, Brian Friedman, characterized the trial. He said,
listen to this.
Trevor Bauer sued Lindsey Hill for defamation. In what turned out to be an outstanding resolution for Lindsey, neither Lindsey nor anyone on her behalf paid anything to Bauer. Not a single dollar. Even better, Lindsey received $300,000 from her insurance company. Based on that payment, Lindsey agreed to settle the lawsuit. Now that the lawsuit is over, Lindsey looks forward to helping others. Oh, she looks forward to helping others. Helping others ruin men's lives based on lies.
Yes.
Oh, man, that attorney's got to be complicit in all this.
Well, you think?
Yeah. Isn't that insurance fraud?
Seems like it.
Yeah,
It seems like there's a lot of fraud going on here. It seems like, again, Lindsey Hill is a criminal.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't prosecute her, there is no justice.
Yes.
There is no justice in this case if somebody does not prosecute Lindsey Hill. Right now, you have every bit of the evidence that you need. Go make it happen.
Well, and the problem is defamation is so hard. Defamation is so hard to clear. No, it's not that. These are actual crimes, of course. Yeah. But this is the issue, right? And look, there are people out there who talk about this. There is no accountability for certain bad actors out there in the press. And largely, that does take place on the feminist side with women, right? Me Too was a haven for women to lie and shake down people for money. This is a guy. Let me ask you this. What do you think happens after this? Hey, Bauer, you think that for most women, probably a catch, right? Let's say he's not even necessarily your type, but you add a few inches of height and a couple $100 million, he's kind of cute. Well, he's no longer available. Men like that check out and say, I'm not going through that again. And then women say, there aren't any high-value men out there for me. Well, why do you think so? And now you have an entire generation of young men coming up, right, who have seen these stories take place. So even if it hasn't happened to them, they're, ironically, like a battered housewife, they are saying, there's no way I'm wading into that quagmire. Absolutely not. I'll just play video games and watch pornography. And we see sexual dysfunction going up. This is a serious problem. When there is no accountability for one of the two sexes, and men can have their lives destroyed through the court of public opinion with people who decide to act outside of the boundaries of the law, guess what? Before we even get to marriages, the romancing, the courting of men and women ceases to be. And what do you think should happen to people who make these false sexual assault allegations or false abuse allegations or coercion, right? The defamation. I remember I always thought that was so funny. We're like, he's trying to intimidate her. This is more of his bullying, suing her to try. This is victim shaming. Well, hold on a second. That's what they always do, right? That's the projection. Like, I was raped. No, hold on a second. No, she wasn't. She absolutely wasn't. I have video proof that never happened. I never choked her and I never punched her. See, this is victim blaming again. What a wonderful way to remove any and all accountability. But hey, the press loves a good story. This guy doesn't get his name back. Sad.
Yeah. That's all this talk about toxic men and these toxic women ruining people's lives. Like, I had something similar happen to me. It was like a family member.
Yeah, me too. I was with you.
Yeah, she called me up. It was like
you
a second.
Choked and punched a family member during sex?
No. She came to me. She tried to extort me for money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was like she was asking for money. She's like, I need this money. I was like, well, I don't got it. She said, well, there's this cranny that keeps calling me. And she's claiming that you sexually assaulted her.
Yeah.
I was like, that never happened. She said, well, tell you what, if you don't give me $15,000, chump change, bitch. If you don't give me $15,000, I'm going to TMZ, right?
Yeah.
I was like, look, I don't care if you had evidence on 4K video of me banging Caitlyn Jenner with a damn MAGA hat on. You're not getting $15,000 on me.
No, that is chump change for you guys. Yeah. You guys are very good entrepreneurs. You should have taken the $15,000 and pulled a payback. Remember Mel Gibson? You go, see that $15,000?
Yeah.
This is as close as you ever get to it. Light it up on fire. Like, just because I think, no, you wouldn't do that because that's a felony.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, it's a felony to light money on fire?
You go, this $15,000, this would probably buy a lot of nice fake stretchy vaginas. Huh? Gone. I didn't know there was a wood chipper back there.
I'm
It happens all the time.
I'm banging trainees.
Yeah, it happens so often. When we go on the road, they'll start texting our wives. I was like, who the hell is it?
Yeah, it's like just they went to my wife first.
Yeah.
My wife's like, "What the hell is this?" I was like, "I don't bang trainees." What? It was
How
a
many times
picture.
you've had to hit the dump button in this story?
Yeah, it's a picture of a light skinned dude with a erection, right? I said, "That's not my cock." You can't tell the difference between my cock and another guy's cock.
Well, I don't know. If it's grainy.
I mean, they all.
The dude was
know if
skinny, had no gains.
No gain.
No game.
That's the most offensive part in all of
Calves
this.
were small.
You just had a note there, Gerald?
No, you're good. I had an idea that I sent to them to find the missing link.
Yeah, and by the way, we're talking about Australopithecus? No. Oh, so here we're going through this theme, right? Give me my name. Leave me my name. It's shaming. It's ruining someone's name, reputation. Hit the like button, by the way, if you want to show Bauer some support. Maybe we can.
Yeah.
If we don't have him on the show, because I don't think he wants to discuss this anymore.
He might not. He might be one.
I'm going to reach out behind the scenes because, there's a lot of people here, and we know a lot of folks who've been through very similar situations.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.